Welcome aboard Northern Viking Explorer. If you're new here, my name is Ken.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to be doing a review of the ship layout and amenities of the Carnival Vista cruise ship. Let's go ahead and dive right into it.
Let's talk about our thoughts about the layout and the amenities on the Carnival Vista.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to go first.
All right.
I really like the layout of the ship. I find it simple to navigate, and it's kind of what you expect of a cruise ship layout. It follows the typical pattern.
I would agree.
Yeah. I'll explain. Like the first two layers, the first two floors are cabins. And then you have about 3 floors of restaurants, the theater, shopping.
The Atrium's in that area.
That's right. And then you go into...
the casino.
Yep. And then you go into a section of cabins again until you get to the Lido deck.
Yes.
And that's where then you find the buffet and the pools and all the kind of entertainment up from there.
Okay, yeah. The Serenity's up higher and all the spa and everything's in that area. Yeah, I would agree. It is quite simple to navigate. Easier than other ships I've been on.
Plus, there's one bonus that we have.
Okay, what's that?
We've been on the Panorama, which is the sister ship.
That's true. That helps. If you've been on the sister ship, it definitely helps navigating. I felt like when we stepped on the Vista, I felt like I stepped on the Panorama. A few things are different, but I already knew my way around as soon as we stepped on the ship. Especially since it was the cruise right before that we were on the Panorama.
And there's definitely things that I liked more about the layout on the Vista.
Than the Panorama?
Yeah.
Well, I'll explain because I don't know what you're going to say.
Well, the shopping.
Oh, okay. Well, that's on my list, actually.
Is it? Okay, I won't take it from you.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay,
if you're going to bring that up, I don't mind.
I felt like on the Panorama, it was a bunch of small, tiny shops.
Especially for the Carnival Shops.
Yes.
There was like 3 or 4 different tiny Carnival Shops.
And so I felt a little intimidated because it felt like a small kiosk type shops. And where on the Vista, which is older than the Panorama, it actually has a bigger, one bigger area to shop through, which
for
felt
kind
more
of
comfortable.
The souvenir shop, the Carnival store type of thing. You're not talking about the jewelry stores.
No, that's true. Yeah. I'm talking about the Carnival logo type stuff. Yes.
So I would agree, and that's actually on my list. So
I'm sorry, I stole that.
No, that's okay. I that's one thing I didn't actually love about the Panorama, and that was definitely a lot better on here. I'm gonna point out one. I really like the funnel in the middle of the atrium as well. It's really cool. It comes out of the bar. There's a funnel that comes up. It's actually a screen, and they change what's on the screen throughout the week. So the colors, even when there was Dr. Seuss stuff going on, it would change to Dr. Seuss logos. I think that's really cool.
It was cool. It really helped change the mood for what was going on for the different activities.
Do you have more? I have a whole bunch of things I like.
Okay, well, I'll continue on the same kind of theme then. I like the size of ship.
Yeah, I would say so too. We were on one ship once where I felt like we walked 1,000,000 miles to get everywhere. You felt like you were closer to everything.
Yeah, and still big enough that it has lots of amenities though. But not huge that you're kind of lost. I don't know if I've ever felt lost on a cruise ship, but it felt right.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I have a couple cool places can I go through a couple different places that I think were really neat. The Red Frog Pub on the Vista is really neat. So on the Panorama, it's the Guys Pig and Anchor in that location. On the Vista, it's the Red Frog Pub. But it's got a really neat, how would you say it, decor to it. There's kind of wine barrels for some of the tables. There's Jenga on some of those. If you kind of walk back around the corner, there's a shuffleboard table and foosball tables back there. So it's got a really kind of neat vibe to it. If you're looking for a fun place to hang out, I thought that was really cool. And I know the one night we went out and hung out in the Havana Bar. I love the ambiance and the way that's set up. The music was great in there. But just the ambiance.
The colors are amazing in there.
So those two are really neat places on the ship.
So you kind of stole one of my likes.
Okay.
A little bit. I liked how the ship is decorated in that each restaurant and area has its own theme.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really well decorated to the theme. Like,
yeah,
the Red Frog, it has a very, like, fishing almost type thing. Like, where there are nets and that, like, wine barrels and wood.
Okay, yeah.
Am I right?
I don't want to say fishing, but definitely...
Okay, I felt like it was, like, fishing too.
The wine, a little bit more rustic, maybe, I would say. But, yeah.
Yeah, but as you went, like, then when you stepped into the Havana area, it was a completely different atmosphere.
Very Cuban style in there, and yeah. Honestly, I felt really jealous going in there.
Okay, explain.
Well, because looking down off the back of the ship, I see the Havana pools and hot tubs, and there's not very many people out there at all. And we weren't allowed to hang out by we
weren't in a Havana
pool, and
but you can go into the Havana Bar. Mm-hmm. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of that. But the pool and hot tub in the Havana area are just for those staying in the Havana.
I may have snuck out to the Havana pool and hot tubs as soon as we got on the ship and got some video footage of it, but we weren't allowed to really go out there when it was open to after that. So beautiful place. I really enjoy that. The Havana Bar area, anyhow. Do you have more? Or I have quite a few.
Okay, go do another one.
So I did want to mention the library bar. It's a nice spot on the ship. Actually, when we got on, they were set up for a wedding in there, but I think it's a quieter place if you're looking to grab some books or games. That is available on there. And the other thing I wanted to mention was the Cherry on Top candy shop is a really large candy shop on the ship, and they had quite a large ice cream parlor in there. We didn't try it.
That's true. Yeah.
But I don't recall them having the ice cream parlor on the Panorama. I could be wrong. But
or
there was
somewhere else.
I don't remember. So you did have to pay for that ice cream parlor, but it was just a really neat spot.
So I have something that I like about this ship. I love deck 9 and 10. How you can go on top of the bridge at the front of the ship. Did I take one of yours?
You did take one of mine, but I expanded on that.
Oh, okay. Why not me then? Please explain.
Deck 6 and 7 at the front of the ship, you can go out there as well. And 9 and 10.
Yes.
So they're at the front of the ship on deck 6, 7, 9, and 10. You can go out. You have to walk past all the cabins. You can go outside. It's actually one of my favorite spots on this class of ship. There's some benches out there, great views. You can walk on top of the bridge on deck 9. Mm-hmm. And
it's usually quiet.
It's usually really quiet out there.
Very few people out there. The last day we were on there, though, there wasn't a lot of wind.
No.
It was hot. I was surprised. Really hot. So
I would agree. I'm looking at my list here. I have a few more.
Okay.
The gym is really nice.
Yes.
They have really good quality equipment in the gym. It's Life Fitness, I believe. It seemed like the equipment was in really good shape.
Yeah.
And
had a good view too.
Had great views in there.
It was at the front of the ship.
And the hours on our sailing were 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I know one of our wishes on the Carnival Panorama on our sailing on there, it was 7 a.m. to 8:30. So the hours are actually an hour and a half longer.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Really big deal.
So from 6 in the morning to 7 in the morning. Not that I'm up at 6 to go to the gym on the cruise ship, but for some people it is a big deal. And I don't know if they've changed the time on the Panorama, but that's just from our sailing. So that I thought was good that they expanded the hours there. So this one, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've been thinking about this, and I actually had someone comment on one of our videos today asking about this on the Vista. They were wondering about the elevators and whether they have the same system as the Panorama. So the Vista is your typical elevators where you push the button for the floor in the elevator, whereas the Panorama had the one where you have to push it in the hallway and then it tells you which elevator to go through or go to. At first I didn't like that system on the Panorama, but I grew to like it. And
I think when you're on the Vista, you realized why that system was superior.
I would agree. I felt like I waited for the elevators a lot more on the Vista than the Panorama. when I first got on the Panorama, I didn't like that system, but as I learned it, it seemed to work really well. And when we got on the Vista, I was like, hey, the elevators aren't
you stop good at every floor.
Yeah, so I think I really appreciated that. So that's, I guess, would be a wish that it had the Panorama elevator system. And you might not agree with me.
That was a mix.
We've got a mixed bag of what people think on that.
You know, it actually works really well if it's just one or two people getting on the system on the Panorama. But you have to redo it for each person getting on the elevator. So if you're traveling with 10 people, then I would say it's not great.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Do you have any more? I've you already mentioned I like the colors and the decor, and you'd already mentioned that. Yeah. I had one more, laundry facilities on the ship.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice that they have that on several of the floors. There's usually maybe 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 laundry machines, washers and dryers.
I had to sneeze.
All right, we're back. You're good?
I'm good now. Thank you. I tried really hard not to sneeze, but...
Awesome. So we're talking about the laundry room. It's just convenient that they have multiple of them throughout the ship. Not all cruise lines have that, and it definitely makes a difference if you spill something on your shirt or you do need to do some laundry while on the ship. So, yeah. Do you have more?
No, I really like the Vista layout and the amenities they have, so I think we can get into the wishes.
All right. I always hate saying bad things about ships.
Yes.
I don't want to say they're bad things, but I wish they had. First off, I find the Atrium area a little underwhelming. That's
my first one too.
That's my first one. So I do love the funnel. I know I already talked about that, but we've been on other ships where that's the Atrium area or whatever they call it on other ships is a very central hub that you would go hang out. And the only really place to hang out there is if you're at the bar on the bottom of the Atrium.
I agree, and I feel exactly the same way. I do enjoy when there's even small finger food type things that you can have. You can sit and listen to music, watch people walk through, and people watch. I like to people watch. So yeah. It's, they do have a small stage attached to the staircase. So there is often live music. But I just wish there was a little more seating.
That wasn't in the bar, kind of, yeah.
There is some. But I just wish it was a little bit more.
Yeah, I would agree. Even if it was kind of bar seating along the glass or something.
That would be nice, yeah.
So, what's your... do you have any more? Or?
Yeah, I do. You probably have this one. Hot tubs.
I do. I always... Hot tubs are one of my things that I find frustrating.
Ships have gotten bigger and bigger, and I feel like they don't add more hot tubs to accommodate the more people.
Yeah. I have 2 things to say about the hot tubs. One, I was surprised that there isn't a hot tub or hot tubs right by the main pool.
Okay. Yes.
Now I've lost, in my mind has gone blank on what that pool is called.
The beach.
The beach pool. And then I don't like, the only hot tubs that are open late are the ones at the aft of the ship at the Tides pool. There's 2 of them there. They're open till midnight. But I think most of the other ones close by around 10 o'clock. So that last couple hours, can be almost impossible to get into the hot tub. And I just wish that they'd keep the Serenity ones open later.
I do too. Especially if you're hoping for a quiet hot tub, because then all the families have no place to go either for the hot tub. So it becomes the space for children, teens, everybody is back there at once. So you don't get that quiet evening soak.
Yeah. I always find that frustrating when you go to get ready, go to the hot tub, and they're packed and you can't even get in. So
It's true.
So, another couple things I have is on the sea days, our sailing was cram-packed. I think it was pretty much full. And on the sea days, it was almost impossible to find a place to sit.
And I know people say, no, you can find somewhere to sit. We walked the whole Serenity deck. Then we went down and walked around all the pools.
Yes.
We went floor by floor.
And finally, someone had just left, and you couldn't see the water or anything. It was kind of half in the shade. But yeah, I wish there was just a little bit more seating.
Yeah, especially for those full days. Mm-hmm. You know, the next day there was no problem. I think it was just. But
we also went later in the day the next day,
That's
so
true.
I don't know what it would have been at the same time. That kind of noon to 1 mark gets really busy for sure. Mm-hmm. Nobody's sunburnt yet.
No, maybe that's why everybody was hiding the second day.
Do you have more?
Yeah, actually I do. I'm probably taking this one from you.
Okay. I know we've talked about a lot of this
we
before
have,
we do our notes,
of course, because we talk all the time, but we haven't compared our lists. But I love a traditional theater.
Yeah, this is on my list. I know what you're going to say.
And this is not a traditional theater. I like the elegance of a traditional theater. I like how you can see better. This is probably one of the poorest sight lines.
It's the worst theater I've ever been on a ship. That and the panorama, it's the same thing.
You get up.
I feel bad saying that, but it's by far the worst theater on any ship we've been on.
I understand why they did it. They made it a multi-purpose type facility. Mm-hmm. They can move stages. They can hold the dances in there. But when you're trying to find a seat, you sit down and you go, oh, there's a post in the way. So you stand up and you move over. You still can't see. Mm-hmm. Like, we go from seat to seat.
There's lots of posts. The angles are weird. There's the seats on the floor. They're removable. So the main floor isn't really sloped. So even if you're sitting down there, it's hard to see over people's heads. I would agree. And that's in the liquid lounge.
Yes. And some of the seating is unique, which makes it also not very efficient in how many people they can fit.
I would agree. So there are good seats in there. I will say that.
Yeah.
But if you want a good seat, you better be standing there before the doors open and trying to rush to a seat. So, I would agree. Yeah.
I agree.
Other than that, I don't have too much. I don't love our dog's barking. I don't love the location of the gym that it's inside the spa. I feel like you have to walk through the spa to get in there. But the once you get past that, the gym is really nice. So,
I agree.
Yeah. But I think that's all on my list. How about you?
That's all on my list. Overall, I love the layout of the ship.
Yeah, so that was the ship layout and amenities on the Carnival Vista.